Barcelona 2024 Grand Prix race notes. Dick. Okay, gang, here we go. Number 1. Red Bull is still the team to beat, but not because it has the best car. They are still on top of their game, strategy-wise, and Max is driving supremely well. Number 2. McLaren may now have the fastest car. Carlos Sainz feels that McLaren is the best all-around car on the track now, but McLaren is still learning how to win consistently by putting the entire weekend together from start to finish. Remember, Lando Norris clearly felt like he should have won in Montreal, and feels like he could have won in Barcelona. Number 3. Alpine scored another shock double points paying finish for its 2 cars, having done the same in Montreal. Sure, some of the finish in Barcelona could be put down to Aston Martin and V-Carb struggles, but you have to be there in the end to score points, and it seems to be working. Number 4. The driver market continues to churn, with Carlos Sainz seemingly being the linchpin to bust the driver market open. As now, there are rumors that Alpine has begun to bid for his services. Number 5. Speaking of rumors, it sounds like Adrian Newey's most likely landing place is not Ferrari, but Aston Martin, having had a private tour of the new Aston Martin factory, and Lawrence Stroll having a seemingly open checkbook. Number 6. George Russell's pass of the entire field at the start of the race was the most spectacular move of the race, and may well be the top 5 best moves of 2024. Number 7. Speaking of George, the Mercedes team seems to be coming to grips with the W15 as the car is getting better with every race. Toto Wolff does not believe that they are in a position to win yet, but clearly they are much more competitive, having drawn even with Ferrari, which seems to have produced a very track-specific car. Number 8. Speaking of Ferrari, Fred Vasseur has his hands full with an angry Carlos Sainz, who is driving for his next contract, and Charles Leclerc, who feels that Carlos is suddenly no longer a good teammate. Should be fun to watch those two go at it, unless or until Fred steps in and puts an end to that nonsense. Number 9. Ollie Behrman had a good outing for Haas in FP1. Number 10. Aston Martin seems to be going the wrong way, and they don't seem to have any idea of why they're going the wrong way. Hopefully, the ship will get righted soon. Sabrina. Number 1. That start. Wow. Bummed for Lando, hyped for George. Number 2. Russell. I think he has to be bummed by that pit stop. Seems like, to me, that's where he lost his amazing initial gain. Number 3. Mercedes. I listened to James Allison's interview this week. I'm hopeful that if Mercedes hasn't figured things out, that they will by the end of the season. I don't know that I think that means it changes their season, but I do think it has the possibility of helping Mercedes resurge either next season or more likely 2026. I'm not going to count Mercedes out, especially not after this weekend. I'm glad I left a benefit of a doubt to remain until Barcelona. Number 4. Russell and Hamilton. Seems possible that intra-team fighting will be more visible as the season continues and if the car issues are being resolved, especially as Antonelli's prospect is likely, and Lewis will want to keep Ferrari salivating about his imminent entry, and George will want to stake his role. Number 5. Lando has gotten a taste for P1, and he won't be satisfied with anything less anymore. I like it. He and the car might just be the thing F1 needs right now. Number 6. McLaren. They really have me excited, and honestly, I think they are too. Number 7. Piastri. But what was going on with Piastri's strategy? I don't think it was the driver. Did the team make a call that somehow had a negative effect on his drive? Number 8. Max worked hard, and I think he liked it. In the sense that, as I've said before, I don't think he likes to just coast to his wins. But he also doesn't want to cut it too close either. Regardless, Max and Red Bull remain a hefty competitive combination. Number 9. Red Bull. I saw this quote in an online article and thought, I agree. And here it is. Quote, do Red Bull have the fastest car? I think it's tight. It is small margins. Max and Lando were 18 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. In the end, we got the job done and bagged maximum points. Since Miami, Lando has probably been the standout competitor, and we're going to have to be at the top of our game to win. It's tight, but we keep winning. McLaren are doing a great job. Ferrari aren't far behind. Mercedes are improving, but we are keeping our nose in front. Number 10. Ferrari. Just as much as Barcelona was a track that showed who might be advancing, I think Barcelona puts a bit of a question mark in my mind regarding Ferrari. They have been doing good, but on the heels of Canada, I worry that they might be in for a slump until later in the season. High-speed tracks may not be their strong suit. Could this be more about the car's characteristics than the upgrades? Number 11, Charles and Carlos. Bit of a head-scratcher as to the strategy calls. Worries me as we embark on the European leg, not to mention another intra-team rivalry brewing, potentially. I want to remain optimistic that this will pass. There have been other times in their pairing where people have made a lot of hay about in-race comments and behavior. That said, I think that's just two racers racing, and I want to believe that their friendship will remain, they will be good teammates, and Fred still has a handle on how to leverage their strengths individually as well as collaboratively and to mitigate their weaknesses. Number 12, Alpine, Haas, Aston. I'm going to wait to see whether I think any of them are onto something until at least Silverstone. My thinking is that we'll know more by that point with 2 races and time for some of the team issues to percolate and become clear. Number 13, Williams. The no upgrade to this track shocks me, but then everything related to the technical side here has shocked me so far. I'm wondering if they had things planned, but the crashes so far ate away from the budget, and now they're just trying to make the best of a bad situation. Number 14, Barcelona track. This track indeed showed us who is onto something regarding car design and development. Number 15, Carlos and Alonso. I am disappointed that they couldn't shine more in their home race. It's unfortunate that their respective cars didn't sing at this track, but it was clear that both of them know that track and derive joy from racing on it and being in front of such a wonderful home crowd. And then number 16, Jack Crawford. No, he's not an F1, but I have to give a huge shout out to this young American F2 driver. We interviewed him earlier this year, and I think it makes his win during the Barcelona F2 feature race resonate even more with me. Dick would say I'm fangirling. Maybe I am. But if you watch the race, you'd know he did a great job across all the 37 laps, had a great strategy calls with his team, and the pit stops were done very efficiently, something that they actually do a bit differently in F2 compared to F1. Also, if you don't know, they don't pit under a safety car, so that's a tool out of his strategy toolkit most of us F1 viewers should realize he and his team had to factor into their calls. He will be racing again this weekend at Austria. Let's hope he can do it again. I know everyone is talking about Kimi Antonelli when it comes to F2, but I would say we as Americans need to be rooting for Jack. He is now the most promising future Formula One driver from America.